Bluewater Festival International Day Parade, brought to you by WPHM, by the Corn Marketing Program of Michigan, Earl Smith Distributors, McDonald's, Mosier's Jewelers, and Ocean Spray. Hello again, everyone. I'm John Hill.
And I'm Scott Marovitz. Welcome to this day, a day dedicated to dreams, John.
It is this year's theme of the International Day Parade, what many think is the highlight of the Bluewater Festival annually. And as everyone knows, if you're watching at home and the people who are along the roadways to watch the parade this evening, we have near perfect, in fact, I don't know how you would improve on the conditions that we have.
This is a spectacular evening for a parade, John. Couldn't ask for anything better. A light breeze, some sunshine, a little bit of cloud cover, and a parade that is just getting underway.
We expect to see the usual spectacular floats. Will be entertained by large groups of bands, musicians from all over the country. Will be on hand tonight. The parade will be stepping off for you at home very shortly, and we will be bringing you a close-up view of every facet of this 1995 parade. We have our cameras located in strategic positions to bring you that information. And we couldn't be happier about being here on WPHM television to bring you this presentation. Along with us this evening, Paul Miller will be reporting from various vantage points along the parade route. And let's go to Paul right now.
Thank you, John, and good evening, everybody. We have got a great crowd down here tonight. This is going to be a fantastic parade. Now, right now, you don't really see anything behind me. It's a big, empty stretch of Huron Avenue. That's all going to change in the next few minutes. The parade has already stepped off down on Military Street. It's going to head across the bridge and up this way, and we can't wait to see those folks come up here. We're going to have bands. We're going to have floats. We're going to have, I am told, horses and even a live wedding that you're going to see right here on WPHM TV a little while from now. So stay tuned. We're going to talk to a lot of these folks in the crowd over the next few minutes as we await the coming of the 1995 International Day Parade. John, back to you.
All right, thank you, Paul, and we will be checking in with Paul again very shortly as he talks with many of the people who have been gathering since very early this morning along the parade route so they can get the very best vantage point for this annual event, the highlight of the Bluewater Festival, the 1995 International Day Parade. And Paul mentioned just a moment ago, Scott, about the live wedding, and we know because we spoke earlier this week with Tina Angus and John Crimmins, who are going to be married in this parade. And we'll get a picture of that, I'm sure.
That is the first time, John, as far as our research can tell us, that this is the first live wedding during a live parade here in Port Huron.
We talked with them earlier this week about how they decided to do this, and their explanation was they wanted something a little unusual, and obviously they've accomplished that. They also are doing something that can be appreciated by thousands of guests, both here and at home, and their ceremony is expected to take most of the parade route. So by the time they get to the end of it, they will have finished their I-dos, I believe. They did make a stipulation, though, as far as the reception was concerned afterwards.
A parade, a wedding, a huge event, something that everyone obviously is going to remember, including the married couple. This is an interesting thing. It didn't just make the Port Huron area. This is something that made the National Associated Press wire as well. So it is turned into not national, statewide. It has turned into a statewide event.
So we look forward to seeing them. They will be in formal wear, by the way, and they will be on the Port Huron Civic Theater float because John is active with the Civic Theater, and this is in keeping with the theme of that particular float. We also will mention that even at this moment, we don't know if Governor Engler will be making an appearance. He has regularly, has never missed, but this is the first Bluewater International Day Parade during which he is caring for triplets. And that may, we think, have something to say about whether or not he shows up.
It's our understanding he's vacationing. We don't know if he's vacationing in the area, but we did find out from his office that he may or may not appear. Now, Bob Courier, who has put together this parade, and we'd like to say thank you to Bob, has told us that if Governor Engler does come, there is room for Governor Engler.
Now, there have been
who knows how much room, but there is
at
room.
The governor's expense, many of you know, it's been reported on all this week, that the governor's not been pushing himself away from the table, perhaps as frequently as some would think he ought to. So He will be. If he's here in the parade, he'll be tough to miss.
We'll leave it at that.
We hope that he will. Paul Miller has talked regularly with the governor when he has visited the International Day Parade. Paul, this year you may not get that opportunity, but you are going to get a chance to talk to a lot of other people.
Absolutely, John. That's what we're doing along the parade route here. We are talking to lots of folks, including this little fella. What's your name?
Jordan.
What are you looking forward to in the parade today?
I don't know.
Do you like the bands?
Yeah.
Do you like clowns?
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of those. And
I like to eat candy.
you like to eat candy. Good for you. It's a man after my own heart right here. Well, you eat lots of candy and you enjoy the parade. And right above him here is Guy Solomon from St. Clair County Community College. We are well familiar with Guy. Welcome to the International Day Parade. You looking forward to this?
Oh yes, Paul. This is an event you shouldn't miss if you live in Port Huron, St. Clair County, in the state of Michigan. You shouldn't miss this parade.
Absolutely. People come from far and near, and I understand that you got somebody close and dear to your heart that's going to be in the parade.
Well, I have a granddaughter who's one of the little girls who carries the pom-poms, and I frankly don't know what they do besides that. But I think she's going to be pretty tired by the time she hits here, though.
Great. What group is she going to be coming through here with?
Gee, what group is?
We're the Chair
America.
Chair America. Cheer America.
She's from Washington State. She has trouble with that.
Well, great. We're going to be looking forward to that. One of the pom-pom squads. You brought the whole family here, huh?
Well, yeah, this is Jesse. My son here. This is my wife Kathy back here. My daughter-in-law Jody. My son Brady back here, and then in the wagon is my newest addition to my family, my granddaughter Annalisa.
Oh, great. How old is she?
2 months yesterday.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
I don't know that, see, because
Okay, Guy, you enjoy the. You got good seats here. What time did you have to come down to get these seats?
well, my wife works in the Maccabee building.
Ah.
So she staked these out earlier today, I guess.
Well, you've got connections then. Great. Guy, thanks for taking a few minutes with us and enjoy the parade.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay.
Nice to be here.
Okay, thank you, Guy. Guy Solomon from St. Clair County Community College. John?
You are watching WPHM's television presentation of the 1995 International Day Parade, and we are just minutes away from the color guard stepping off, as always, as has been traditional in this parade. The color guard will lead all of the many floats and bands and the various exhibits. The Shriners are here. We have already seen some of those tiny little cars zipping around the parade route. You expressed an interest in participating in that.
If I can get into one of those little cars, that would be fun to do, and I think fun to watch me try and climb into one of those cars.
It doesn't look like anybody has more fun than the Shriners do at a parade.
One thing we should point out is that the parade did start at 6 o'clock straight up. However, it did start about 2 miles south of where we are. We are towards the last turn. In fact, the street sign just behind over my left shoulder says we are at the corner of Huron and Glenwood.
And in fact, if the color guard makes a wrong turn, we won't see them at all.
There will be no parade, so we will be here until 7:30 entertaining you folks, and won't that be fun?
We're fairly confident they'll be coming in our direction. However, and as quickly as they are, you'll get a close-up view of every individual float, every band. We'll get a chance to hear lots of the exciting music, a lot of the local bands that will be participating. Also, many of the queens of the various festivals, the Peach Festival from Richmond, from the Bluewater Festival, will also be participating. Bean Festival as well.
This is a big parade, a parade that costs $10,000, approximately $10,000 to put together, and we've got some sponsors to mention, and we will go through those sponsors real quickly. We'd like to thank Dyke Security Service of Port Huron, also London's Farm Dairy, and also very important to the area as well. Those two big corporate sponsors. We'll take another look at those corporate sponsors and how they help offset the cost of this $10,000 parade when we return. Live coverage here on WPHM TV.
A safety belt? Me?
With my job, I'm in and out of this car at least 100 times a day. But officer, it wrinkles my ruffles.
It's been 10 years since Michigan enacted its safety belt law, but there are still some people who make excuses. We say enough is enough. If we stop you and you are not wearing a safety belt, we will take enforcement action. There are no excuses.
Welcome back to more of WPHM TV's presentation of this 1995 International Day Parade, coming to you live from Port Huron, Michigan, downtown, where thousands of spectators are lined along the parade route in anticipation of this parade.
And to participate in a wedding.
And also a wedding. If you're just joining us, you'll be delighted to know, I think, that one of the spectacles tonight, part of this gigantic spectacle, will be a wedding that will be taking place as the Port Huron Civic Theater float passes along the parade route. This is John Hill with Scott Moravitz and Paul Miller, who has a live report from us along the parade route.
And hello once again, everybody. We are right along the parade route, awaiting the arrival of the parade. And with me right now is Dave Thomas from A.G. Edwards & Sons. Those of you that listen to WPHM radio on a regular basis know Dave from our midday and evening stock reports. Got to know, Dave, did you stick around to find out how the market closed today, or did you come down here and get a good seat?
Well, I came down to get a good seat. The market was pretty bad. We were down over 130 points at one time, so we thought we'd come down here and get a good seat for all these kids to watch the parade.
You got a bunch of kids down here tonight, don't you?
Yeah, we got, there's 6 little girls here, and my little boy's over in the shade right now, so there's 7 kids altogether, my dad, my 2 sisters, the whole family's down there.
That's great. You're going to have a great time. What do you personally like to see the best?
Well, I like the clowns.
You like the clowns. I'm with you. I like the clowns. I never used to like the clowns, but I've learned to appreciate them in recent years. Let's talk to the girls over here. Girls, hi. You looking forward to the parade?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most?
I don't know. Candy.
Candy. That seems to be the running theme here tonight. What about you?
Candy.
Candy. Everybody wants the candy. And I do too. So we're going to wait for clowns and bands and pom-poms and candy. We're looking forward to that. The parade should be here before too much longer. We're certainly looking forward to that. A lot more people along the parade route that we want to talk to. We're going to go grab somebody else. John and Scott, we'll hand things back over to you guys.
All right, thank you, Paul. And we might mention that the theme of the parade this year is dreams.
Candy.
Maybe it ought to be candy. And is that anticipation of the governor's visit? That was a low blow. Sorry, we won't do that anymore. Very shortly, you will be seeing live pictures of this International Day parade as it began at 6 o'clock, but the parade has stepped off some distance from our vantage point. You'll be seeing it very shortly, and as you do, we'll be describing the various things that you will be seeing. You may be able to see in your picture
Just
now.
over our shoulders, about a quarter mile back, John, the parade is coming. What I believe everyone can see at this time is the police cars, probably the flashing lights, and also the color guard, as a good number of flags are being presented right off the beginning.
We also will mention that this year's parade marshal is Helen David. And Helen David is a long-time goodwill ambassador for the city of Port Huron, has been one of the very influential community leaders for years and years, a business leader and a civic leader as well. And she's being honored this year. We'll look forward to seeing her. And she has friends up and down this parade route and all over the Bluewater area. She will be the parade marshal, is the parade marshal this year. We will be looking forward to seeing her.
Very interesting, John. They're going to start the parade off not only with the color guard, but coming up right off the beginning is the Big Reds Marching Band, which, of course, is always a highlight.
It absolutely is, and both high school bands will be in evidence tonight. I believe Northern will conclude the parade. As
Port Huron Northern, the Huskies will be at the tail end. So a big entertaining show, a big parade, and as we mentioned, a parade that costs approximately $10,000 to put together. We'll go over those corporate sponsors once again, but who's out and about is WPHM TV and Radio's Paul Miller.
Okay, thanks, guys. We're here with a gentleman by the name of Tim. Tim, where are you from?
Fort Gratiot.
From Fort Gratiot. You came down for the parade tonight?
Yeah, I got bored sitting around my apartment, so I figured I'd do something different for a change.
Come down and hang around with maybe 100,000 of your closest friends, right?
Yeah, maybe more.
Pretty good crowd down here. What do you think?
Yeah, it always is every year around this for the carnival and the parade.
Always draws a real good crowd, and I see the parade is on its way. What's your favorite thing in the parade? What are you looking forward to the most?
The girls.
The girls. There you hear it. And we'll have plenty of them along the way as well. Tim, thanks a lot. Nice talking to you. And
I got to say hi to Joe.
Say hi to Joe.
He's in there watching me. I told him I'd be on in a minute.
Okay. Sure enough, Joe. Here's Tim. Great. Thanks, Tim. Enjoy the parade. We're going to talk to some more folks as well. And I see the parade is on its way, so we're about to get to that coverage. John and Scott, back to you.
So Tim is interested mostly in the babes.
I think that we'll stick with the candy theme.
I think so far,
Dreams and candy.
it seems to be dreams, candy, and babes so far. We are going to get into the meat and potatoes of the parade in just a couple of moments. As you can tell, the color guard is on its way, the international flags, several police cars will be in evidence, and then the first big band, as you mentioned, will be the Big Reds marching machine.
A traditional starter, however, as you're getting a shot just over our shoulders, is, of course, the color guard. And they're made up of local armed service representatives, and they're always out in full force and always a great beginning to this International Day Parade.
I mentioned, too, just imagine the weather of a week ago and how uncomfortable marching in a parade might be if we had those near 100 degree temperatures. But this has been a nice respite. Today is just ideal. A pleasant northwest breeze. The temperature must be in the upper 70s probably, and partly cloudy skies. Just absolutely ideal parade weather for all the people who are in attendance and the many vendors who will be marching up and down the parade route as well.
As the parade takes its turn, John, why don't we turn around and watch part of this spectacular parade. We're at the 6, you still here? Yeah, Let's go. What we're looking at now is a variety of police cars, local police cars that make this parade lineup each and every year. But we'd like to let folks know that this is not the full representation of the Port Huron Police Department or the St. Clair County Sheriff's Department, Marysville Police, Yale Police. There's still plenty of them out on the roadways.
We have seen many of those police representatives who, of course, are in attendance to assist anybody who might need it. And so many of them are working the police tonight. A handful appear in the parade itself.
This is an international parade, and the Ontario Provincial Police are also here. And what you're getting a shot of there, yes, it is a Corvette, folks. It's the Dare car. It is a Port Huron police car. It's a real police car, and one that was given to the Port Huron Police Department. I don't know if you want to say given, but it is the result of a drug deal. And then, of course, there is McGruff, the crime dog.
The crime dog,
Take
that's
a bite out of crime. The final look here of a Marysville police car, along with a St. Clair County Sheriff's car. Those cars are making the turn from Huron down Glenwood. And just to give you an idea exactly where we are across from Alpine Cycles near Midas and also the Speedy Q Market, who, by the way, we should say thank you to for giving us use of their parking lot this afternoon as we parked their truck in their parking lot throughout the afternoon. Now the parade continues. And Paul Miller is out trying to talk to a good number of dignitaries that are out there, including Representative David Bonnier, who will be in the parade.
He's a regular participant with his balloon float that
it's a tree,
and reminds us of the countless, I don't know how many thousands of pine trees have been planted now through his office. That's one of the regular events that we look forward to. One of the familiar events, at least, in the International Day Parade. He will be a part of this as well.
He is also sometime, not with Woodsy Owl, but I believe Scooter the Squirrel, and I'm not sure if Scooter will be there today.
I'm going to be watching closely for Scooter the Squirrel. Also, some inside information we have from Detroit Edison personnel regarding Freddie Filament.
And we will hear about Freddie Filament
right after we hear from Paul Miller, who has someone along the parade route.
Okay, thanks, guys. We've got just a little bit of a gap right now. We're just about to get to the Port Huron High Big Reds, I believe. We've got some girls here. You know, we wanted candy, we wanted dreams, and we got girls. We got the girls here. How you doing?
Good.
What's your name?
Christy.
What are you looking forward to seeing here, Christy?
Nothing much.
Nothing much. You're going to see a whole bunch, though, aren't you? What about you? What's your name?
Heather Shakaro.
Heather, what are you looking forward to seeing?
Everything.
Everything. Okay, what are you looking forward to?
Almost everything, too.
Almost everything. Going to be fun. I see a band on the way right now. Who's down here? I see you got the flag there. You're going to wave your flag at the bands?
Yeah.
Okay, great. How about you?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
A lot of floats.
A lot of floats. Did you know somebody's going to get married on one of the floats?
No.
Yeah, that'll be neat to see, huh?
Yeah.
You like the clowns?
Yeah.
All right, I do too. We're looking forward to that. So we want to see the bands and the floats and the clowns. We've got all kinds of great stuff coming up. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the parade. There you have it, the view from down here, and we're just awaiting the Port Huron High Big Reds. They're coming up next. John, Scott, back to you.
Freddie Filament, John.
Freddie Filament,
Have not
yeah.
forgotten
It's one of those.
Freddie Filament.
It's one of those balloon things that you'll be looking for. It's an inflatable. It's scheduled to be in this evening's parade, but Freddie has been on storm duty. We have this on serious authority. Storm duty along with thousands of other Edison employees, and it's questionable whether Freddie will actually appear tonight. Actually, Freddie Filament has been traveling in the trunk of an Edison line-down crew who hopefully will have completed his assignment in time to deliver Freddie to the launch pad in time for the first appearance. They come up, and it should be fairly soon in the events that come along. That's one of the early ones, if they made it. So it's one of those things that we'll be looking forward to. You're looking at live coverage of the 1995 International Bluewater Parade. And this is John Hill along with Scott Barovitz.
What you're getting a shot of is a gorgeous shot of downtown Port Huron. You can see the Michigan National Bank building, also the Benz sign. It is right downtown, and coming towards you is, yes, the Port Huron High Big Reds Marching Band. Blue and red pom-poms. John Hill, what in the world are blue pom-poms doing in Big Red Country?
Excellent question. We'll get the answer to that, the definitive answer, sometime after the parade, no doubt. But right now, let's pick up on the music and the pageantry of the Port Huron Big Reds Marching Band.
Pop this up, stick this hand over, this hand here, goes right here.
Now, get your knee on the ground. Get a nice shot like this.
Two high school bands, as we were mentioning, Port Huron's two high school bands. They often alternate, John, being in the front or at the back of this parade. Last year's showstopper of sorts was this band, which has already picked up a number of awards. The band traveled to Orlando, Florida, and April. They won superior ratings in parade and pom-pom. Also second place in Class AAA concert bands and overall band. And a big hand to Robert Clark, who is the leader of the Port Huron High School Big Reds marching band. We saw not only the color guard, which we're getting a good look at right now, but we also saw the Alumni Cheerleading Association, which I'm sure that you noticed that some of those girls were not in high school. But they should still.
But they have not been out long.
I'm getting myself in deep trouble.
That's right.
Now.
Must have graduated only recently. And the same is true for many of the band members as well. It's a great opportunity. A lot of fun for all, I'm sure. And these people donate their rehearsal time, school is not being in session, in order to make these kinds of appearances. So it's nice to see that happen as well. For years, that was not always possible. It has been in the recent years, and we're glad to see that.
We've got another band to come. That's going to be at the tail end. That's going to be the Port Huron Northern Huskies, and we've got more parade coverage, 1995 on WPHM TV, coming up next.
Children are the largest group of Americans living below the poverty line. They have to reach higher for what others take for granted. Health care, balanced meals, encouragement to learn. But with help early on, children in your community can gain the skills to get out from below the poverty line. It takes programs like Success by 6 and people like you to help them take the first step. Call to learn more. Change the world of a child, and you change the world.
And we're back live with WPHM's television coverage of the 1995 International Day Parade. Live from Port Huron, Michigan. This is John Hill with Scott Marovitz and Paul Miller. And you are getting a beautiful up-close look at the entire International Day Parade. There was one exception. One thing you missed. The sheriff's posse passed just as we went to break. And behind them, behind the posse was a collector wagon, shall we say, which tipped over.
Dumped over.
Right, just as it turned the corner. It was not a pretty sight, and it was a good time to be in commercial. We're back live.
What we have just seen is the Chris Dance Workshop. Nearly 100 participants included in this dance team, divided into 5 ranks, 20 files. Chris's Dance Workshop, a participant here in the parade. The car that is just about to make the turn, Richmond Good Old Days. And the Richmond area Good Old Days, of course, a big festival. And we're getting a shot. Well, no, that's not the Queen being held up. That's part of the Queen's court from the Richmond Good Old Days.
That's a future Queen, perhaps, but not the current one.
32nd annual Queen's Float measures some 22 feet in length, and that is what is coming up. We are looking at a future Queen in the car, and the float is making its way down. Now, there's going to be an automobile following this red automobile, the Chevy, with the 2 speakers on top of it, which we're going to look at in a few seconds. But let's say hello to the toddler miss of Michigan, Demery Tuffenbaugh. What we'll see in just a few moments is the Richmond Good Old Days Queen. And she will be riding high atop a float, blue and white, spectacular looking, and really the first spectacular float we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because we've gone through the preliminaries, which are very interesting to see and to watch. These now a little more colorful as the floats are just about to pass by.
More of the dancers.
And we'll see a lot of dancers in this year's parade. That has become a regular event and a lot of fun for all the youngsters, and of course a lot of proud parents along the parade route too.
And little dancers of all ages, little ballerinas, and another wagon, which hopefully will make the turn.
We are seeing another toddler miss come by.
Nice white car. That is Tiffany Joan Robbins.
And the Richmond area float now is passing by, as you can well see.
You should note, we should note that the Good Old Days Festival in Richmond this year, I believe, John, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it runs September 7th through the 10th.
I believe that's correct.
Mark your calendars. Richmond Good Old Days Festival runs September 7th through the 10th. And this year's queen is Christine Lang. She just made the turn. She is a Richmond High School graduate and will be attending the University of Detroit Mercy.
Christine and her court.
No doubt what is heading towards us. Yes, that says it all. Yale and baloney.
And I'll tell you what, look at the crown. I guess the crown's on both. The Yale, the Bologna King and the Bologna Queen.
And Paul Miller is making his way out to talk to the Yale Bologna King.
Can we get to Paul Miller?
We've stopped the parade just to talk to the Bologna King and Queen. Your names?
Dick Bush.
Darlene Beatty.
What does it take to be the Bologna King and Queen?
Well, we have to be full of baloney.
Okay.
And proud of it.
And what are the duties you have to uphold?
Well, we have to spread it around pretty thick.
And we raise money for the community.
Great. When is the Yale Bologna Festival?
July 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Is it going to be fun?
Oh, you bet.
Okay, enjoy. Thanks, folks.
Aboard
Oh.
the car.
The Yale Bologna Festival was somebody's idea that started, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, maybe longer than that now. Yale has been known for Yale Bologna for years, and somebody said, how about a Bologna Festival? And to their credit, nobody said, that's the dumbest idea I ever heard, because it has from the first year it was held, it took off, got statewide attention, it continues to. They do a great job putting that together, and there will be a new Yale King and Queen of Bologna shortly.
Here's the Michigan Sugar Company, based in Saginaw, Michigan. The Michigan Sugar Company sports a non-competitive float entry with the 1995 Sugar Queen, Rhonda Garza. And here comes the tree.
That is the tree we talked about earlier. You know, once upon a time, years ago in the International Day Parade, there was a lot more political input. There is not nearly as much anymore, and the rule has been for years there needs to be some significance to those, and there certainly is to this one, because it's a reminder about conservation, about planting trees, about replacing trees, and of course Congressman Bonnier has made it a practice of distributing countless pine trees to constituents.
And how appropriate that the St. Clair County 4-H youth programs leads the way for Congressman Bonnier.
Speaking of 4-H programs, their youth fair comes up in August at the county fairgrounds in Goodalls, an event that involves over 1,000 members of the county 4-H and their families and advisors. We always make a point of bringing attention to that fair and the many young people involved in it. Great organization, and it's represented in our International Day Parade.
It seems the wind might be getting the best of this balloon.
It is appropriate, isn't it, that Congressman Bonnier's balloon is drifting to the left, but it is still flying.
More parades, more floats.
You will notice awards that will be signed. Many of the awards are given in the staging area before it starts. The Governor's Award is one of those awards. And the Governor's Award is what, Scott?
The Governor's Award is the best originality and creativity. It is a civic entry. There are a number of entries that can either be a civic entry, a business industry entry, a United States theme, and that is, I believe, that's it. There's also the Judge's Special. What we just are getting a look at here is the Governor's Award. And although Governor Engler cannot be here, still winning the Governor's Award is the float that we are getting a look at, just spreading its eagles.
Look at the movement of this float, and imagine the work that went into this in order to put this together.
This is the Cub Scouts Pack 117. Over 24 personnel are involved in this float, showing traditional Cub Scout events like the Pinewood Derby, which we saw a number of cars scooting by. The boys first experienced Scouts as Tigers and then become Eagles, hence the float's name. From Tigers to Eagles, that's every boy's dream.
That is one exciting float.
We have talked about small cars, we have talked about big cars, and we have also talked about airplanes. And there is one that has just landed right smack dab in the middle of Huron Avenue. Paul Miller, it seems you've taken this plane down. We are going to wait to hear from Paul Miller, who maybe that plane landed on Paul.
I think there was a communications problem caused by that plane, because we did not get obviously that interview. But, gee, I'll bet it was good.
What you are looking at, however, is the United States Air Force, the U.S. military's ALU USAF is promoted in this non-competitive float. Now, we talked about competitive entries, non-competitive entries. It's a miniature F-16 that seems to move. It's about the size of a car. It's painted red, white, and, yes, blue.
And it is, don't you half expect to see little leg holes in the bottom pushing himself along? I don't think so. No, it does seem to be powered by an engine.
It is not a Fred Flintstone car.
It occurred to me that how is that powered?
We're going to see.
We're going to go back to Paul Miller, I think. By golly, we're going to get this interview done. If it's the last thing that we do, here is Paul.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. We're here with your name?
Staff Sergeant Dave Jones, United States Air Force.
Okay, very good. Did you fly this thing in here?
Oh, absolutely. Landed about 2 blocks back.
And you're going to fly it out of here, too?
Oh, absolutely.
This is the guy that knows how to beat traffic.
As soon as I get clearance from the ground tower, I'm out of here.
Okay, good plan. Thanks a lot. Enjoy. Have a good flight. Back to you guys.
The question is, Paul, do you see his legs moving like Fred Flintstone underneath there? That's a shot that we
are
unfortunately
there pedals? I don't know.
Here's another queen that we're getting a look at. This is the Michigan Bean Queen, Tuscola County, located northwest of us. It features the annual event called the Michigan Bean Festival. And a big wave there.
From Tanya Muntz of Cass City, who's crowned the Tuscola County Bean Queen.
I believe there's a fire to put out someplace. No, there is not a fire. Well, we're not sure what the rush is with this. Oh, it's the St. Clair Fire Department. It's the first gasoline-powered pumper in the city of St. Clair, and it's still there.
Is that a beautiful, beautiful vehicle, isn't it? And it looks like, in a pinch, it could be called into service. It says 1925 is the year on the side.
Either that or the number of fires it's put out.
Could be the number of fires it's put out, yes, or the number of gallons of water.
A truck we've seen in and around the Bluewater area, the Harrington Inn. The senior residents of the historic Harrington Inn in Port Huron, a free ride to the parade given to all seniors from the Harrington Inn.
The Harrington Inn, of course, that used to be the Harrington Hotel, faced demolition before the people who operate the Harrington Inn renovated it, gave it new life, preserved the historical site, and made it a functioning inn for an awful lot of people and a lot of community events.
More dancing. This is the Dance Academy that we're looking at. Port Huron, it's featured in this drill team. It includes various ages of children, as you can see. The academy is located in the 1000 block of Military. Sees Kelly Federley as the new owner.
What fun for these youngsters to appear in this parade and, of course, to also appear on our television broadcast and get a chance to be seen by so many thousands of people, both along the parade route and at home.
You are watching WPHM TV, and you may think, John Hill, Scott Marovitz, Paul Miller, my goodness, it should be the morning. No, it's a Wednesday evening, and a beautiful evening at that to watch a parade as these young girls go by swinging pom-poms and just enjoying the parade.
We are looking forward to seeing Helen David a little later in the parade, who is the parade marshal this year and every year. One area resident is chosen to be honored in the parade, and this year is Helen's turn. And what a popular choice that was. We're looking at tots going by.
What a way to go into a parade, pushed in a carriage. Boy, I wish though I miss those days. The dancing cow. This is something I can without a doubt appreciate. And when you think of ice cream and you're in the Bluewater area, you of course think of
London's Farm Dairy, and they are one of the corporate sponsors of the Bluewater International Day Parade, and they are well represented, of course, in this parade and in others. With that vehicle, they're London's cow, and also their orange juice container, because it was just recent and not so many months ago that London's Farm Dairy began producing its own line of orange juice, and that has become one very popular product among many popular products from London's Farm Dairy.
This is the Bayrama Fish Fly Queen and her court. Bayrama, of course, just south of us, downriver in New Baltimore, taking a pass. Now heading towards our camera once again.
I think of all the queens that we will see.
This is I'm sorry?
Of all the queens that we will see, this one has to be the most memorable. I think every year when I see the Fish Fly Festival Queen, there's something about the name you must admit that is ear-catching. The Fish Fly Queen.
And we've been waiting to see this.
And it's a big event down there.
Freddie Filament.
Freddie Filament did, in fact, make this parade. Look at in fact, I think this may be the first time we've seen Freddie Filament in this International Day Parade.
This could be, and Freddie Filament having a hard time at this turn as well. You know, actually, it's not a hard time at the turn, John. There are some lights that are hanging just
overhead. If Freddie Filament brought down a power line, what a story, what a story we would have.
And there we're getting a great shot of a wonderful balloon. Detroit Edison crew hard at work. And look at some of those
Some
workers.
of the best-looking people toting Freddie Filament around. Isn't that incredible? One less person and they'd be airborne. Here comes a Judges Award, and we will have a look at that as it passes by and remind you what the Judges Award means. We had the Governor's Award that was given earlier. Scott, what is the Judges Award?
It is the most effective presentation of decoration non-theme, a float theme that represents another festival, queen, or community. And a lot of hard, tedious work was put into this coming float. I believe that's a big castle, is it not?
It certainly looks like a large castle.
You know what I'd like to get a shot of here, if I could, is Paul Miller holding 2 microphones. If we can get a camera on Paul as this takes a turn, somebody find a camera, somebody find Paul Miller, and let's see if we can get the... You got to maybe turn around. Paul, can you talk into that other
I want to know
microphone?
which microphone he's going to talk into.
I'll tell you, guys, I didn't have to do a thing to get this. Bluewater ice cream came up, handed this to me and said, compliments of Bluewater ice cream. They didn't even tell me I had to give them a plug on TV. They just said, compliments of Bluewater ice cream. So thanks, guys.
Paul,
I'll enjoy.
raise that way above your head because it's hard to see the white ice cream on your white shirt. We wanted to see how big that cone is.
It's big, Scott. It's enormous.
And who's walking by you, Paul?
Who we
Just
got
to your
right
left.
here?
You got Gamma Huddy from the Red Cross.
Oh, great. You got the clowns on.
Volunteer.
The Volunteer Clown Corps.
See something?
Let's see it. Wow. All right.
The only thing that would have made that shot
Thank you.
of Paul with a clown funnier would be if he had put the ice cream cone in her face instead of his microphone. He is licking the right microphone, we're glad to say. And here is Helen David, this year's parade
We need to
marshal. What a
stop
sweetheart she is. And we're going to see if we can get a word or two with Helen as she stops. And let's see if Paul has her now. Paul?
We've got the parade Grand Marshal right here, Helen David. Congratulations on being the Grand Marshal.
Thank you, and I'm very proud, and I'm having a wonderful time.
I'll bet this has got to be one of the best vantage points for you for the parade.
Great, great. I don't usually be able to see it, you know, but I'm real happy to be here.
Now, where is everybody going to go after the parade, do you think? We'll all be at the brass rail. Thanks a lot, Helen. Enjoy. Helen David, the parade Grand Marshal.
Coming up next is the Miss Bluewater Festival float, and Paul traditionally does a nice job of interviewing everyone in that court. But whether or not he's munching on too much ice cream or not, I don't know.
And
the
this
Bluewater
is-
Festival Queen in her court.
This is the festival float of the year. We are going to pop up here and see if we can get Paul Miller to talk to the International Bluewater Festival Queen, who is sitting high atop her throne. We need to speak with the Queen if we can.
And yes, Paul, you're on. Let's see if you can catch the Miss Bluewater Festival.
We're here with the Bluewater. If you can just yell into our mic at everybody out there.
Hi, everybody out there.
Congratulations on being the Miss Bluewater Festival Queen.
Thank you.
Are you enjoying the parade?
Yes, very much. My first parade.
Okay, great. You got a good vantage point up here.
Yeah, I do.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And the whole court right here. Everybody wave and say hi.
Hi.
There you have the Queen. I've got ice cream. I've got the Queen in her court. I'm in heaven, guys. Enjoy.
Paul Miller working hard along our parade
We should
route.
say-
And we will be talking with Paul again.
Jody
shortly.
Piperzak, the Queen he was just speaking with, the 1995 Miss Bluewater Scholarship Pageant representative this
A
year.
reminder that the fairgrounds will be open tonight for the amusements that will be going on as part of this Bluewater Festival. And then AAA supporting school safety.
What we need to do is, as we take a look at ourselves on camera right now, make sure that we get a shot of this next float coming up, because this is it. I shouldn't say the wedding of the century, but it may very well be, because it may be the biggest wedding of the year. We're going to try and get a shot just over our shoulders of a wedding that has just taken place. The Port Huron Civic Theater, they entered this float, and let's see if we might be able to
Tina and John
watch this wedding.
get married, and this is it. And this ceremony has been going on all during the parade.
Port Huron Civic Theater. Now here is where the candy comes. it is an actual wedding, as you can see. Paul, we're going to ask you if you can make your way towards that float so you can at least line up talking to the wonderful and beautiful bride and the new groom.
And as you can see on the plaqueboards along the way, they are advertising the plays on the playbill for this season. Chicago, Alice in Wonderland, 42nd Street. Looks like a great year for the Port Huron Civic Theater. But at this moment, we are most interested in that wedding.
We're going on live here. Can I jump up here? We're going on live. Hang on, guys. I'm all set. Oh, I'm here. I'm here. We're on. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You guys tied the knot. What? Take the mic here and tell us what made you decide to do this.
Well, it was really, we just came up with the idea, and after trying several things, Tina said if I could pull it off, she'd do it. So here we are.
You've got about 100,000 people at your wedding. Did you ever expect this many people?
No, but I'm glad I didn't have to mail an invitation to every one of them.
I hope they don't all come to the reception, though.
Everybody pretty much. Where is the reception, by the way? We're all invited, right? They're not telling us where the reception is. Congratulations, guys. Port Huron's newest newlyweds right here. Compliments of Port Huron Civic Theater.
I wouldn't hitchhike on that comment for anything, but we will one of these days. Coming up next, the Eastern Michigan Bank float. And as you take a look at that, we'll remind you you're watching WPHM TV's presentation of the 1995 International Day Parade. And we'll be back with more of the fun and the excitement, the pageantry, and the music, all part of this year's annual event in just a moment.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation.
And congratulations to John Crimmins and Tina Angus, who have been married as part of this International Day Parade. I don't know if this will become an annual event for other couples or not, but it certainly was a highlight of this one, and still lots more to go. Hi again, everyone. This is John Hill with Scott Marovich and Paul Miller on WPHM TV and our presentation of this year's International Day Parade from downtown Port Huron, Michigan. Lots happening, and we are going to be bringing it to you right to its conclusion. The Detroit Pipe Band just passed by. The Lambton Shrine Club Motor Corps also just passing by. And I think we're going to talk about Marine City Maritime Days in just a moment.
Looks like we've got another clown just standing right next to Paul Miller, and a clown with a little umbrella, a clown with funny shoes, and a mustache as well. Paul.
Yeah, we are here with Sir Laughs-A-Lot. Hi there.
I'm just fine. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm having a good time greeting all the people. The kids are wonderful. Where else can you give out autographs as a clown?
Hey, you've been giving out autographs?
Yes.
Is that a big enough comb?
Well, I hope it is. I think maybe it grew a little, and then something happened to my umbrella. It shrunk in the rain. I'm just having all kinds of problems.
Well,
on top of that, I took my hat off, and you see what happened.
Oh my gosh. You've got a bird in your hair. All right, Sir Laughs-A-Lot, enjoy the parade. One of the Red Cross clowns here in the parade.
He didn't make any bird in the hair joke, did he? No. Fortunate. The Marine City Maritime Days float went by. You saw behind Paul and the clown a 20-foot float featuring the Queen contestants for the upcoming Miss Maritime Days in Marine City. Those festivities begin on August 11th. The Regis Hairstylists company shows up in both the U.S. and Canada, featured in a convertible. The Miss Regis U.S. and Miss Regis Canada just passed by. And now, as you can see, the Plymouth Fife and Drum Corps from Plymouth, Michigan, a regular favorite.
Let's give them a listen. Drum Corps. They were founded in 1971 as the first fife and drum corps in the Midwest. The Plymouth Fife and Drum Corps has become a seasonal, magical, and musical company with a 12 to 18-year-old students from Plymouth, Michigan. The uniforms worn by the Corps, it's a replica of what George Washington's Life Guard, 1976 to 1783, with white knee breeches, waistcoat, blue continental coat with red trim.
That is just a very, very popular entry in our parade and in parades all over Michigan. As many of the entries in our parade also are entries in other parades, certainly throughout the Bluewater area, as our Miss Bluewater Festival float is entered in many of the pageants around our area. So are many of these all around the state and throughout Canada as well. Just passing by,
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
A shrink wrap full of stuff.
Probably would want you to say an 8-foot section of cardboard on a trailer depicting 2 maps of the U.S., one from 1975 showing Walmart locations, the other from this year with all of the Sam's Club and its parent company's Walmart locations.
Stuff. Lots and lots of stuff.
Stuff is not a bad way to describe it, I guess.
And here's a nice little pony. Carousel Music Animal, a couple of dozen of personnel are involved in this entry. Promotes the firm's pony rides, classic coaches carousel music. Kiddie rides where their theme is where children's dreams come true. And lots of candy.
And somewhere in every youngster's past is his or her memory of a pony ride.
And there's the carousel that is making its way. Just making the turn down Glenwood.
We have coming up some big time. Is Chance Masters along
Chance
the parade
Masters
route?
We should say that Chance
because
Masters could be involved.
Chance Masters maybe the Bluewater area's best-known motorcyclists, and coming up are some of his buddies.
Before we get to that, however, we've got Paul Miller, who is taking a carousel ride. Paul?
I don't know if there's an age or weight limit on this, but I'm going to hop aboard here. Guys, what's your name?
Mark Ellsworth.
You having a good time?
Yeah.
You got a good seat here for the parade, don't you?
Uh-huh.
What about you? You having fun?
Yeah,
What's your name?
Jenny.
You got a nice seat there for the parade. What about you? What's your name, fella?
Cody.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Some great kids here having a good time on the carousel float. Guys, back to you.
Paul, we'll leave you to cut up those long-winded answers.
The second oldest festival in Michigan after the Cherry Festival is this one, the Peach Festival
Of Romeo.
in Romeo, Michigan.
And hello to our queen, Melissa Barr. Currently attends Macomb County Community College. 1995 season marks this festival's 64th year. Chance Masters, along with Gary Goulet, certainly will appreciate this next
The Goldwing
participant.
Road Riders Association. And look at these outfits.
These are cars on 2 wheels. Very large Honda Goldwing bikes. Arlo Guthrie's song, I don't want a pickle, I just want to ride my motorcycle. Probably on the minds of some of these drivers. You know, John, these things, just rough point here, cost about $18,000.
And they are very, very well cared for, aren't they? Quite obviously.
They are just some big motorcycles, and you know, if you're going to ride a motorcycle, you should ride one that is the size of a truck. That would be my suggestion.
We don't have to tell anybody about the increasing popularity of motorcycling, and it's demonstrated by the Goldwing Road Riders Association and will further be demonstrated by other motorcyclists who will be appearing in this International Day parade on WPHM TV as our presentation continues.
All part of the Bluewater Festival happening here in downtown Port Huron.
Coming up shortly will be the St. Clair County Council on Aging demonstration.
Well, she just made the turn, actually, the queen of that.
And giving way to the Windsor Optimist Youth Band.
30th year for this band. Another opportunity for us to hear some of the fine sounds coming out of Windsor, Ontario. It's a project of the Optimist Club, annual favorite here at the Bluewater Festival. 60 members scored a second place in Kitchener, first place in Wyandotte in parades last year. They are making their way through a formation
Our
They will.
bands, especially the Port Huron Big Reds, have been well represented in Kitchener events in the past.
We should grab someone.
You know, we shouldn't have ignored that. Not that we ignored, we just didn't have all the time to talk about the St. Clair County on Aging Council on Aging holds their antique car queen contest that we missed. A candidate winner riding along with the antique car dressed in clothing from the 40s, if you noticed, and that was a 55 antique car. Donna Trojanowski of Yale.
There was no antique.
No. I already got myself in trouble saying that before. Let's give the Windsor Optimist Youth Band an ear.
Windsor Optimist Youth Band, and they put out a lot of music.
Difficult to play an instrument to begin with, but march and play at the same time, and it becomes that much more difficult.
Those of us who have difficulty with walking and chewing gum can identify with that. One of Port Huron's oldest and best respected parochial schools, St. Joseph School, is represented here. And,
with a basketball net, and Gus Macker just around the corner, so how appropriate. See if these guys can make the moving shot. Hey, hey! Couple of future Michael Jordans here.
I would say.
They are just in front of American Legion post number 8.